What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Outside the Clutch. I'm your host, John. We took last week off. It didn't mix. The guest had some issues, and then I brought in a collection, so I kind of focused on that. Hope you guys don't mind. We're bringing the heat tonight, though. Bringing one of my friends that we've had the pleasure of knowing since he really got involved in the industry. We've talked on and off throughout that time. And I'm really excited to finally get some insight on him and talk about his projects and kind of what his experience has been so far in the industry. First, I want to just say thank you to everyone that's continuing to support this. Grab your balls. Jose, I see you, boy. Texas Kid Reptiles, what's up? Gray's Reptiles, long time no talk, man. Hope you all doing well out there in Cali. Uh, you guys, I want to thank you so much. This podcast is really taking off on the podcasting platforms, and it means a lot to me because I never thought we'd have this type of a reach or anything like that. So the fact that we get to do this and you guys are showing the love and support that you are means a lot to us. Speaking of love and support, you should always love and support your animals. So with that means that you're taking care of your animals the best you can, and that brings us to our sponsor. Here at Outside the Clutch, we're honored to be sponsored by VivTech. Are you ready for innovation? Tired of the same boring product that's been used for 30 years? Ready to give your reptiles and amphibians the UVB they really deserve? Then look no farther than VivTech. Their 3-watt LED bulb provide the UV rays your animals have been missing. With 3 bulbs to fit your pet's climate needs for optimal husbandry, plus a dimmable feature, and it's the only bulb with a 2-year warranty in the industry. So what are you waiting for? Go to vivtechproducts.com today, use code FCLUTCH0322 for 10% off to provide your animals the best care they've ever had. Hell yeah. So without further ado, I want to bring in my man, Mr. Paco Miranda. Badoom! What's up, dude?
What's up, John? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
I'm doing okay, not too bad.
Okay.
Yep.
You got the night off. You got to be doing better than okay.
Yeah, I got a couple hours sleep, so I'm good to go. Got my coffee right here.
Up,
We're
man.
good, man.
There you go. There you go. All right, so let's kind of jump into it, man. It You've been around for a couple years. I want to say you started picking up reptiles in like 2019, correct?
Correct. Yep. Right at 2019 is when I got like my first one. Yep.
Oh yeah. And you didn't. I want to say you didn't even start with snakes, right? You started with bearded dragons.
I did. Yeah. I've actually had like I started out with like leopard geckos when I was like 12.
Right.
You know, just something as a pet, and then it did progress to bearded dragons, and you know I guess I can say I got kind of like into the higher end bearded dragons, so I got like pretty serious on them as well. So
You
I
did
was
like the silkies and stuff like that.
well, I did mostly like zeros, whiplets, and then like the weiros. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but like a combination of the two recessive, and then
Oh
like
yeah.
a couple of hybrids. So yeah, started out with that, and then yeah, it progressed to ball pythons as well.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
So what made you make the jump from bearded dragons into ball pythons?
That's kind of weird. I was thinking about that the other day because, ball pythons are always around, and I've always gone to all these shows, and the ball pythons were there, but I never really like looked into them. I guess you can say didn't really catch my attention. And then I don't know, man. Just all of a sudden, one day I said, you know what, I'm gonna start out with a ball python, and of course, I bought like I think it was a super pastel het clown. Um,
Right.
Got that at the local Repticon, and of course, you keep digging further and further, and you find out all these other new genes, recessives, and just kind of exploded after that.
I don't know how you do that, man. Like you Georgia boys love your Repticon shows.
It's a pretty good show. The Atlanta Repticon's a pretty big show, man. A lot. Of course, Bob's there, and Steve, and a couple Alyssa from Full Throttle. So it's a pretty big popular show down here for sure. Other than
Yeah.
the Daytona show.
Has it fixed its kind of reputation of being a dirty show?
Uh, You
Yes and
know,
no.
yes and no. I haven't been going to them lately, because they have the show me shows as well now, and a lot of
Right.
people have been going to those. But honestly, man, I've just been working so much, I hardly have time to go to the shows anymore.
No, I feel you, man.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
just try to
Well,
make
I
it to the
mean,
big ones.
even especially with your job, man, the fact that you're even able to do it, it's it's a feat of its own, man.
Yeah, well, you work around what you love for sure. You make time for everything. Yeah,
For sure.
so
So let's talk about that a little bit. We're obviously gonna get all over the reptiles here in a little bit, but I think it's really important to kind of thank you for what you do because not everyone wants to do it. I've been in that field throughout my
mm,
life, and it's not the easiest field to be in either. So
yeah, appreciate it, man.
let's. How is being a nurse nowadays?
Um, it's been pretty wild, man. Especially the past few years with COVID. I've seen a lot of stuff at work. It's been very stressful. Um, but it's just I signed up. Well, I graduated nursing school right at the peak of COVID, kind of. So I came out pretty hardcore, I guess you can say. But it's been a learning experience. It's that's what I went to nursing school for, is to try to help people. So I've just been blessed, man. Honestly, it's given me a good job right now, good income to be able to buy snakes and stuff. So I can't honestly complain.
And
Yeah.
what'd your family think? Not only of the snakes, but like your career choice. Like
That
that had to be something that kind of weighed on them a little bit just because of COVID.
Yeah. I mean, they're just blessed. Honestly, I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college, so
That's
it
awesome,
definitely
bro.
made them super proud, and it is
Oh
what
yeah,
it is, and they're just happy to have me to be able to try to even take care of them at sometimes.
that's freaking awesome,
Yeah,
bro.
thank you, man.
So let's. I don't. I don't want to stick on it, but there's like, you know how there's those horror stories, right?
Hmm.
And I just want to give the outside people their perspective, I guess, of what it is to be in the medical field. And so, with what you could share, because I understand like HIPAA and
Hmm.
stuff like that. What's one of the craziest scenarios you've had to deal with so far?
Um, well, I work in the ER.
Oh, you see it all,
Yeah. So
bro.
I'm right now. I'm working in like Midtown Atlanta. So there's a lot of violence around. Well, I mean, dude, I can't even say, but I know we've had a lot of gunshot people, a lot of gunshot victims. But I think the craziest thing I've seen is where we had one gunshot victim at my old hospital, and there it's like a trauma center. So I don't know if you've ever
Right.
heard of a thoracotomy, where you
Yep.
physically open a person's chest and manually massage the heart. And I was there at the bedside and like seeing that, and being in on
Mhm.
that was pretty wild, man. Definitely gets your adrenaline going.
For sure, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything that crazy. Like when I was teaching, my instructor talked about when he was downrange,
Hmm.
he literally had to hold pressure in medevac out on a helicopter.
Oh yeah.
He was a flight medic and he was holding the pressure on the artery
Hmm.
or the aorta so that the
Yeah.
patient's heart could continue beating.
Yeah, man.
And it was like it's such a small amount of pressure that if you do it too much, you close it, and if you do
Hmm.
it too little, they just bleed out within seconds. And this dude held it for like a 45-minute flight.
That's wild, man.
Insane, bro.
Yeah.
Insane. But
Ridiculous.
I think that field just kind of changes you. You know what I mean? Like you I don't want to say you become numb, but
Yeah. You
weird
do.
things attract your attention now, or you're like, that's kind of crazy. You're like the darker things
Yeah.
you laugh at, kind of like
Dark
military in
humor.
the first place. Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
dark humor because you need it at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's jump back into the snakes. Like, they gave everyone kind of a feel of what you do on the daily, what you feel. How big is your collection right now?
I'm still pretty small, man. I'm like right around 40 snakes right now, including, babies and the big snakes as well. Yeah.
And then how did you kind of choose your projects, and what are you focusing on since you're just starting out? Because this is a pivotal moment for you. You know what I mean? Like you could really make yourself or essentially just follow tracks. And I don't think anyone in your group does that. I think you're all very diverse.
Hmm.
So how did you choose your projects, and how have you chosen where you want to take them?
Um, like they say, you choose kind of like what you like, of course, and fortunately, I like clowns. I was just focused on stacking a lot of those females right now, and fortunately, ended up being a recessive as well. That later on, I found out, just listening to podcasts, everyone recommends buying into recessives and stuff, and then I'm definitely, I think just that. I think Desert Ghost is a big one I'm involved in as well. So the DG Clown's a route I'm wanting to go down later down the road as well.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you at all on that
Yeah.
one, bro. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this year I get to prove a girl out. But
Nice, man.
yeah. So what obviously that's what you like. That's what you've been around, you see quality in, but what what did you look at? Like obviously you want to hit those recessives, but you you can't just take it at the recessive. You want to add stuff into it because you don't want to go and backtrack that far back and play that game of just adding one by one by one for
Mm.
each codom or dominant. Like what what caught your eye, and what did you choose to integrate this early? Because this is, I think you've already had one season, correct?
Yeah, I had one clutch.
Ish. Yeah.
One
I mean,
clutch, yeah.
it's a start, bro. It's a
Yeah,
start.
yeah, yeah.
Don't talk
So
yourself down on that.
no, no, yeah. Yeah, I had one clutch last year, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um so I don't know. I just think, just um I know with the bearded dragons, whenever I started collecting them, I was just buying a lot of them. And it came to a point where, I realized I had a lot of um, a lot of things that I really didn't need at the time, and later on I figured out, I think smaller and just
Mhm.
things more towards your project ended up being better. So I tried to integrate that into the ball pythons as well. Just choose het clown females or double hets and so forth, and kind of work from there, to be able to later on down the road buy a male to plug into those females. And they
So
say that.
you did it the right way. You actually listened to people. You weren't like, "Oh, that's a cool male.
Yeah, well,
Let me
well,
just throw it." You actually planned your projects out. What are you doing over there? Listening to everybody, Paco.
I know, man. Well, see, but I learned that from the bearded dragons as well. So it was a learning experience for me. And then later on, I just applied that same thing to ball python. So to try to set myself up for the future.
Hell yeah.
Like, yeah.
So where do you want to see yourself in all of this, man? Like, is this going to be kind of like a hobby? Is this going to be, because you just started your career, so I don't think you want to get out of nursing like right after you started it. Like, what's your mentality on all of this?
You know, it's I hate to kind of say, but I think I came in more as like a business side as well.
Hmm.
I'm surrounded by a lot of friends that do this full time and stuff, and I just see they're making an income off of it and stuff. And of course, like you said, I want to keep my career as well, but I also want to do this on the side. But I guess it could be like a business type hobby, but I just want to keep that growing and expanding that. Just work as much as I can right now, but eventually, I mean, you never know, man. I wouldn't be opposed to doing this full time. I know it comes with you know, a lot of hard work behind the scenes, but it's something I've always loved. So I don't see why that would be a problem. you know.
No, I don't doubt that anyone can do it if they're willing to put the time into it. I think the issue is for a lot of people, they don't look into the time. And the one good thing about all your mentors and like the team you have around you is you have, like you said, you have a lot of people that have now done this full time. So you understand, okay, I have to devote X amount of hours a week to snakes. I have to devote X amount of hours to rodents or to find rodents. Like
Hmm.
how are you going to bring in rodents for all of those without doing it yourself? You know, and like
Yeah.
all these small things that people don't necessarily account for. You've already seen, you talk about on a regular basis. Um, how do you think that your team's helped you grow to
Uh,
this point?
I think, of course, just taking it like back. I can't. Alyssa from Full Throttle Reptiles. I just the first time I ever needed rats, and I had a couple ball pythons, but I didn't really even know anything about like even the sizes of the rats and stuff. And long story short, I pulled up to Alyssa's house, and it was just like a drive-through at McDonald's of just people coming by and getting rats, you know. But I got very close to them, and she ended up taking me to shows as well. Letting me see kind of behind the scenes and stuff. And I think that really opened my eyes. And just being in um, that scenario as to being a vendor, because I would try to help them, at the shows and stuff. And they're very close to Tom Harbin, so
Yeah,
Tom Harbin
Tom's good
was
people, man.
very, yeah, definitely, man. So I think having that, and then later on I met Bob Vu as well. Bob Vu, and he has Josh Jackie, and they've kind of taught me a lot as well as far as like the business side and the investment side. And it's scary throwing money into this when you haven't produced anything. But I was reading this book, and it talks a lot about like when you're scared to invest, look at the math behind it. As far as like if you buy double head, for example, DG clown females, you grow them up 2 3 years, and then you buy a male. Statistically, you're gonna get one or two DG clown males or females. You can go back and sell those females, make your money back, and just keep expanding. So just kind of seeing the money side, or not, just the profit side on it as well. It
Yeah.
just makes it a little easier for you to kind of throw that money, to be
Well,
able to.
exactly. And I think a lot of people are scared of that. Like, I went through my first season and I did decent. Like, I didn't do huge. I had a small collection.
Mhm.
I think I was actually smaller than you were when I had my first year. Well, I think I was at like 35 or 36 animals. Of that, only like 12 or 13 were breeder size. And I hit 5 clutches. And it's like, that's when it snapped. Was like, okay, I proved to myself I can do this.
Mhm.
Let's see if I could sell them. Okay, I could sell them like a
Yeah.
lot faster than I thought I was going to be able to.
Mhm.
Like, don't a lot of people have that mental hold, and I think it's with anything, man. Like, regardless of the hobby you're in, you have this hold where you're like, I'm scared to go all in, or I'm scared to really invest, but they don't realize you're investing in yourself. Like, do you trust yourself?
Mhm.
Then freaking go for it, man. Because if you're not willing to put out the self confidence, no one's gonna buy from you anyways. Like, you need to
Yeah.
trust yourself. But yeah, man,
Yeah. But it's
like
scary for sure.
everyone says it in this hobby, and it's like scared money don't make money.
Exactly.
Antoine's known for saying that shit
Mhm.
regularly. I'm like
Yeah.
100%. It took me until that first year though to see that okay, I have a handle on this.
Yeah.
Like, my most expensive snake up to that point was probably
Yeah.
$600.
But and then again, like everybody goes at their own pace, man.
Oh yeah.
Every like they say it's a marathon, not a race. So like there's no rush into this at all, in my opinion.
No,
You
no. I
gotta
mean,
start somewhere.
absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you just got to push yourself. Like, I think a lot of people look at it as a competition, and not just to talk about the business side of it. Obviously, we want to talk about you, but like everyone looks at it as a competition for some reason, and it's not. Like, there's with everything opening up, and I think I've said this on a previous podcast, but last year alone, the the industry was $5.3 billion in the US.
Hmm.
Now, granted, that's like everything within reptiles and all species of reptiles, but it was a $5.3 billion market last year. And it's expected to grow by like 2 to 3% yearly from
Yeah.
that point. And So there's no competition for you. Like you make your little spot. You're gonna be able to do whatever you want to do, but you have to do it.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So what made you decide to do breeding instead of just keeping? Like,
Um, I don't know, it's kind of weird because I've always had just a fascination of trying to reproduce something. I would always keep animals, and like my leopard geckos. For some reason, I just went into it just wanting to breed them. That with the bearded dragons as well, and then of course the ball pythons. It just kind of translated into that as well. I don't know. I've always just wanted more, and just being able to replicate that. I don't know if just like ever since I was little, I was like really obsessed with dinosaurs. So I think just having like something in its enclosure, you're just replicating like its own little environment, like its own world, and trying to make it grow and just keep it living. Pretty much, just really fascinated me for some reason. Hence, why we have all these animals.
it's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy how we want to replicate, right? And like I've looked into the bio and like doing everything and our other animals obviously like we want to look more towards a bioactive now. I've really enjoyed seeing it. Some of our animals, I don't know that we can necessarily pull it off. I'm trying to figure out a way to, but
Yeah, because you're in El Paso, right? Yeah. So yeah, it gets
super
super hot.
dry. Yeah,
Yeah.
super dry.
Yeah. I bet
But
the bearded dragons would do well out there.
oh, they love it in the yard,
I
man.
bet.
They
Oh,
freaking
you
love
keep
it.
them outdoors?
Well, I don't keep them outdoors, but I take them outside and they turn in. Well, now that I've used my lights
Yeah.
from VivTech, I
Hmm.
get a replication of actual sunlight from them. But like when you take them outside, you can't put them down.
Yeah.
They turn into a
Yep.
whole nother creature, man. It's like they're wild again. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Like I've taken more beardy bites from taking them outside than I've taken from
Yeah.
snakes.
I kept my bearded dragons outdoors. That's where I started mine.
Oh,
Um, Kept them all as babies, just outdoors. Here in Georgia, of course, the winter, I'd put them in, but during the summer, I would keep them out. They did well, super well.
no, is that did you do that kind of like it's just in a room like mine, right?
Yeah, it was a garage that we, closed in and insulated and put a fan in and just made this my reptile room.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So with like the fluctuation, because I used to live in southern Tennessee for a while, like when I was a kid. Actually, not too far away from where Alyssa lives now. We were actually in the same town,
Oh, okay.
but um, the weather changes so vastly out there.
Yeah.
With you keeping it in a garage, even with it being insulated or anything like that, do you find that you have to do like extra steps every year in preparation in order to maintain like your humidity or your temperatures in there?
Well, I have this window AC with the heat as well. So honestly, I just come in, man, and just based on how it feels. Oh, it feels hot, turn it down. Feels too cold, turn it up and stuff. Because like you said, it fluctuates. One day it's 30, next day it's 80. So so I just come in and just kind of go based on touch. So I do keep it a little cooler in here, about 76, 75. And the snakes are eating good. So as long as they're eating, they don't look stressed, anything. I just whatever's working, I just keep doing it.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
So did you learn going kind of back into your routine? What's your okay, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm sorry.
No,
That's
you're
kind of
fine.
the way my mind works sometimes.
You're good.
I'm still working on that. But what's kind of your routine when you're going through your breeding at this point? Like you still have a small collection. So are you palpating? Are you like linking up with Bob and them to use the ultrasound? Or like are you taking like notes on what your girls are doing, trying to figure out and read them? Like how do you go through your breeding season so far?
Well, I I got an ultrasound. Got ended up getting an ultrasound. I know last year with my first female, since I only had one female, I did. I was using Alyssa, so I was driving back and forth every other month, and I'd go and get rats anyway. So I'd just bring her up, and she was kind enough to ultrasound her for me. So
Yeah,
then
it's awesome.
but now I do have the ultrasound. So I'm in the last month I did see some females starting to build follicles, not quite to where I don't want to throw in my male just yet, but we're just watching them right now and just hopefully in these next few months can start building quicker and pair that male,
Nice.
get things going.
And do you follow like the other guys' feeding plans, or what's kind of like your feeding schedule, especially when you see them start to build?
um, I just feed once a week, man. Honestly, yeah,
Do
just
you
once a
feed a
week.
specific size or
I don't go past a small,
okay?
just because I don't. I've had the bigger rats can definitely do some damage. So even with the small ones, I feed, and as soon as I hear them strike, I have these tongs that stick in a rat's mouth to keep them from biting my snake or trying to injure them. Because I did that once with one of the females I had, and it kind of freaked me out because it looked like it was taking its eyeball out. And I was like, I would never do that again. So yeah,
That's one of the fun parts of feeding live, man. Like
yeah,
it is exponentially taking the actual feeding portion longer,
hmm
but I don't
yeah,
know, like it's so much easier.
yeah. It
You're
just
not
makes me
waiting
feel better.
hours to get it to the right temperature. And
Yeah,
like I don't have anything against the people that do frozen thawed, man. Like I
yeah,
did it for a long time. I believe in it. I think it's a good way. I feel I feel like live brings more nutrients to the animal right away.
hmm
I feel like they just have a better response to it. Not saying that you shouldn't do one or the other, but that's just obviously my thoughts on it.
yeah.
But yeah, I do the same thing. I use a crochet hook. So
Okay,
like I grab one of my wife's crochet hooks, and when they go to bite, I grab their upper teeth so they can't close their jaw and sink into
exactly.
anything with the hook.
Yeah, feel bad, but I mean, you got to do what you got
Yeah,
to
but
do.
I'm not gonna let something happen to my.
No, exactly. You know,
Yeah, man, for sure. I feel
yeah.
that. Is there a reason why you chose just small? Is it simply for the damage that larger rats can incur, or give to the snakes, or is it because that's just kind of what people said and based off of what you've read? Because that's what I do now. Like I used to do up to mediums for a while, and I was like, dude, it takes them so long to digest this, and
Yeah,
like they're just they're rocks in the first place, but they're really rocks when you give them a big meal. They don't want to move. They stay on that hot spot, and it just seems like it's hard to read anything.
yeah. I was, I guess you could say I am going just basically because I don't want to injure my snake. I know I was feeding like the big snakes at like 15 and up, 1,500 grams and up. I was feeding every week as well, and then I did come up on a shortage of rats for a little while. So then I started feeding those every 2 weeks. And I was listening to a podcast with Billy, and he was talking about how he swapped his big ones to every 2 weeks, and I've seen some pretty good results as far as like their growth
Yeah.
and stuff. So I think the bigger ones I am gonna start feeding every 2 weeks right now, and then anything under 1,000 I'll just, or under 1,500 I'll just do weekly. Like babies, I will start them every 5 days up until 300 grams, and then just slow it down to 1 week though. Yeah.
And do you do it consistently, or do you look at a fasting period? So this is something I extensively talk with a lot of people about now. It's something that kind of fascinates me because they have their fasting period in the wild, right?
hmm
And then the rains come in, and that invokes more food, hence the breeding season and all of that. So it's something that I've kind of played with in my own collection. And honestly, like I fast my females for a month before I even start breeding them. So like that month leading up, I'll start dropping the temperatures. They won't eat for 3 to 4 weeks, and then I start giving them whenever you want food. You start throwing a small rat at them. But it's just something I've played with. Like I know a lot of people that feed year round, like my mentor, scientists kind of advised me not to do it. But I was like, I don't know. The scientist in me wants to play with different things and see what happens. And
Yeah.
I, sometimes it's not the best thing to do, but
Yeah. No, I just feed consistently, man. Uh, just I can't say I've tried anything. I know sometimes your schedule goes off,
right.
um, but I can't say I've tried anything right now other than just feeding them once a week. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what are I know you go to the Arlington show, like you make time to go to the Arlington show. What are some of the other shows that you make it out to?
I've been to pretty much all of them, man. To be honest, I know I've been to Arlington, I've been to Tinley, I've been to Daytona, been out to Pomona. Um,
I think that's where we first met. I think like right when you first got started. Maybe not.
at the Arlington, I think it was the
I
Arlington where I
know
met
I've
you.
seen you a couple times at Arlington, but I could have
Yeah,
swore I've seen you out at maybe not. Because my last time at Pomona was 2019,
19.
I think.
Yeah, I even went before the ball pythons as well out there because I was born in Los Angeles. So I have family out there. I go see
Right.
regularly every once in a while, and it happened to be at the time when the Pomona show was going on too. So man, ended up making that as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I all the shows are really fun though. I can't really say which one's the funnest because they have you been to Daytona?
I haven't been to
No.
Daytona yet. That's one I really want to hit. So like you have Daytona and the Animal Con that Barcheck just came up with.
Okay.
And
Is that
that's
a
gonna happen this year. And I think they're like back to back weekends. So I'm really considering like sweet talking my wife.
yeah?
Be like, can we go out to Florida for like a week and a half?
Just tell her you're
And
taking her to the beach.
yeah, you just go to the beach and have
yeah.
fun. I'm gonna go hit Animal Con and
Yeah.
Daytona and see if we can hit Gatorland and Iguana Land. And
Yeah.
there's so many people out in Florida that I really want to spend more time with, and just stuff out there that I want to see. Like when I was a truck driver, I drove right past Gatorland, like, and I was so tempted, bro.
Oh, I
Like,
bet.
I was straight gonna pull the rig over and just park
yeah.
it and go into Gatorland for a day.
Yeah.
But
Super tempting.
yeah,
Yeah, no, you need to make Daytona. It's a good show. A lot of people go out as well, and it's right on the beach, so the atmosphere is just good. It's different from Tinley and Arlington, and
see, that's another one. I've been trying to hit Tinley for I think like 2 or 3 years now, and it seems like
yeah,
so like the year I was gonna go, like I had my flight booked. I had Airbnb set up with Earl,
hmm
and it was the year that COVID happened, so they shut everything down. So
yeah,
like the day we were about to get on the
yeah,
plane, Earl calls and he's like, "We're canceling everything." I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh no!"
Everyone, man, same
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
same here.
It was such a rough day, man, and
Yeah,
that was when it was on my birthday weekend, so I was like super stoked.
hmm
I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna
yeah,
be at Tinley for my birthday. I'm gonna get all wild and
yeah,
crazy and have fun." And
yeah. I was bringing
every time,
my parents, my mom and dad, and my girlfriend as well. We all were gonna fly out, and now we just got credits for all these airlines.
right,
we'll
right. I
eventually
keep
use it out.
working it too, bro. I'm like,
Yeah,
let me reschedule that. Wait, let me reschedule that.
yeah,
I'm pulling the little hacks that you hear about from these smart people.
yeah, definitely.
But
But
hell yeah, man. What's been your favorite show so far?
mm, I'd say
Arlington?
Arlington. I would say Arlington. Yeah, definitely, man. Just because I go with a good group of guys, and I just have fun. Everyone's out there to have a good time, enjoy themselves, and so um, I would say that one for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's it been like kind of working the booth? Because you get to go behind the scenes and help out Bob and Josh, and what's it that's a lot to take in like all at once, especially at Arlington, man, because like that little booth area kind of gets crowded at times. It can be somewhat. I mean, I stand back from it. I
Yeah,
know, like here locally, when we did ours, just having like 30 people to do kind of education, I was getting overwhelmed like crazy. So I can only imagine trying to sell.
yeah. Well, it's we're there to have a good time, but at the at the end of the day, it's Bob's there for his business,
Mhm.
and I go to help him for that primarily. So first things first, we get set up, go get set up. It takes us a while, clean the displays, just stand behind the booth, and he's never ever told me like you have to stay here, don't walk around and so forth. So I help out. I go around, talk to people and stuff, but I always try to come back and be just present at the table in case anyone has any questions. And just try to sell some snakes for sure.
How's it? How's it been? Like that's something with you being so young in the industry. And I don't say that to say that I'm not. Like I'm super
Hmm.
new to it as well. I jumped into social media way early, I guess, so to speak. But how's it been to have that selling experience? So now when you go, you kind of have that little notch in your belt, or like you already have that machismo, knowing that hey, I can come out here with my animals and do this.
Yeah, no, I mean it just makes me excited. At the end of the day, that this is what we're breeding for as well. To fulfill our passion and try to keep it a business as well. So it definitely makes me more excited for the future to buy this place. I'm not there yet right now, but I see, like you said, I've seen the behind the scenes and what goes into it. Um, but I'm just ready to get breeding and keep going and just keep going from there.
So how many are you trying to breed this year?
Uh, I think I'll be, if everything goes well, probably about 10 females. I would
Nice.
say, yeah, about 10 females.
That's really good. Holy
So I have, like
crap,
I said, I have
Mr.
some girls
Gundy
building
again.
follicles right now.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah,
That's like royalty in this industry.
I know.
I'm freaking
I've
blessed.
never, I've never spoken to them, but
Such a
I've
nice,
heard very good things.
such a
Yeah,
nice guy, man.
I always see them, posting all these kids, bringing in the new generation.
That's what I love. Like
Yeah,
that's one of the things I want to be able to mimic one day, man.
yeah,
It's I don't know
pre,
that I'm there yet. Like I got it at the last show a little bit, like letting them hang out with king snakes and corn snakes, and I brought one of my retics, but I didn't let it out just because there were some kids that were just a little too handsy, and like she's calm, but
hmm,
I've never put her in a crowd like that yet, so I
yeah,
wasn't
no,
willing to take the
definitely.
chance.
No,
But I love that. I love watching his
yeah,
shows, man.
just
And go ahead.
no, I was just saying, yeah, just people that have a fear of snakes and kind of getting them to convert. Because even here, um, people come over all the time, and they hear I have snakes, so I'll bring them in here and let them check it out, and they're scared of them, and you end up putting one in their hands, and they just lose that fear. It's pretty cool in my opinion to change their perspective on them.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it, bro. Like I love working here locally and doing it, but like I have friends even to this day, they won't even come to my house because they know.
yeah,
Like they refuse to walk inside of my door. They'll come to my house and like say hi and we'll hang out outside and like have some adult beverages or whatever, but
mhm,
they refuse to step within the walls of my house because they
yeah,
know I have a room full of snakes.
yeah. No,
It's
definitely.
the fear is insane for some people, man. And like I understand because there's some fears I have of myself that were kind of like that at one point. Um, I think you have to break through that though. That's one of the things I'm trying to teach my kids because my oldest son's like super scared of heights, and it was
Mhm,
probably because I played rough with him when he was a kid and he got a little nervous. And his younger siblings love it. Like I do the same thing to them, but there's just something about him. He's like super scared of heights. So I'm like gradually trying to work him up higher and higher and
Yeah.
get him over that. And like I show him, okay, well, dad's scared of this. So if I do this, you have to do this, and like try to coax him into doing something that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have something, man. Something we're all scared. I got mine's heights as well. So I can relate.
I was like that for a while, man. And then I realized it's like if I'm on like a mountain or something, I don't have an issue.
Hmm.
But like if I'm on a tower or I'm on even at a mall, this is going to sound
Yeah.
really ridiculous. Y'all are going to laugh at me right now. Here's the inside scoop. You can ask my wife. She's on right now. Miss Scout, you can confirm this. I can't walk on like the second or third story of a mall and be on the outside away from the stores if
Yeah.
they have glass because I can
Yeah.
see down. And like I get jittery and I
Yeah.
grab my kids and I'm like hugging the wall
Yeah.
next to the stores and like, don't go over there. Don't go
I
over there. Don't freaking go over there.
the way I found out is I was helping my uncle paint one time, and it was pretty high up. We were good like 20 feet up, and I'm going up the ladder and stuff, and there's this pole I need to reach up to, but I didn't want to tell him I was scared, so I'm grabbing the pole and painting one-handed up here until he sees me. He's like, "Are you scared of heights?" And I was like, "No, no, no," and I'm just shaking up there, like a leaf. And he's like, "Don't be
Hell yeah.
scared." He's like, "You won't go past the ground."
Yeah, but the ground ain't
Yeah,
gonna feel good
exactly.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah, the kids don't like the elevators either. So like
yeah,
we take the escalator, man.
yeah,
And they'll watch that and we'll go up the escalators as fast as possible.
yeah.
But
All good, man.
like animals now, like my big fear before was spiders. And my wife really enjoys them and I got over that. Um but yeah, man, it's one of the things I want to teach my kids. Like whatever fear you have, face that fear.
Yeah,
And it's one of the things I try to put into my shows now is like I've had moms that wouldn't like come near a table and their kids holding a freaking 5 foot long boa constrictor. And I'm like, Mom, your 8-year-old's doing it. You need to do it too. Like
yeah,
just touch it. And then by
yeah,
the end of the show, the mom's walking around with my 8 foot
yeah.
snake around.
Pretty cool,
Or it's
man.
not even 8 foot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Um, But I love it, man. And I love watching kids' eyes glow up. Like there's just something special about the
yeah,
first time they get to hold one
yeah,
and you see that change in their eyes and the fascination and it's
yeah,
like next to producing your own animals, that's the greatest feeling in the world, dude.
yeah.
Greatest freaking feeling.
Because that was us at one time.
Yeah.
That was us at one time. Getting
I
able
could
to.
still tell you, bro. Like I could tell you the day, well, not the day like per se, like month and date, but I could tell you the exact moment.
Yeah.
And it was yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
So I hope oh no, we lost him. Hopefully he pops back in. Anyways, we're gonna keep going with it. I don't know what happened to Paco. Oh no. So the exact moment was in biology class. And for those of you that have kind of been around the industry for a while, what'd you do? No, I'm just
Man,
playing.
no,
I'm
I
just
think it
playing.
broke.
It
It
died.
just
It
it
died.
did. No, you're
It's
good.
all good. So I was in animal science class,
Mhm.
not even biology. I said biology a second ago when you were off, but it was animal science class. And those that have been in the industry for a little while may know one of my friends growing up. Her name's Kim Paws, and she used to do like the auctions and stuff for the NARBC shows. And she's been around the industry for a long time. And anyways, I grew up with her and she had snakes back then when we were in high school. We were like, I think ninth grade when I had animal sciences because I had ambitions to be a veterinarian stuff back then, but I didn't have the drive or the mental focus to do it at that time, right? I wanted to be the cool kid and do sports and go to parties and all that stupid stuff that I look back now and I'm just like, man, what'd you do? But
Yeah.
anyways, So she brings in, I think it's like 5 or 6 different species of snakes at this time and a scorpion. And I finally get to hold my first snake. And I'm just like I've seen wild atrox all around my house growing up and things like that, but not something you could hold, right?
Yeah.
So I finally get my hands on one and I'm just like, I'm instantly hooked. We get out of class, and that was my last class for the day. And me and Kim are just joking around, and we're freaking playing with her snakes for like an extra half hour after school. And then she's like, "Well, I volunteer at this one store," and so I go over there, and she brings me in, and I talk to the owner, and I guess the owner knew my mom from church at one point, and that's what started it all, man. Like
Yeah.
she pulled me into working at a pet store with her. That's how I got my first snakes, and that's how I got my feeders and my tanks and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But if it hadn't have been for her, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
It's
Very cool. Yeah.
crazy how a single moment.
Yeah. Change it all. Yeah. What's funny is my girlfriend, what a lot of people don't know actually is I do probably 20% of the snakes, to be honest. Like cleaning, changing, rats, all that stuff, waters, all that. So I work in Atlanta. I work like an hour and a half away. So 4 days out of the week I'm gone. So, my girlfriend actually does all this stuff. I just come back and feed. By the time I get back, everything's done. But what I was getting at is the first time she ever held a snake was in Daytona. I told her,
Mama Ren's here, y'all.
"What's
Sorry,
that?"
I didn't want to interrupt you, but Mama Ren's here. I'm kind of
Oh, I got
excited
you.
right now.
No, you're good, man. But anyways, I know the first time she ever held a snake, I was right there with her. She had never held one before, and I told her. So some little girl, it was like a 6-year-old girl walking around with a snake, and she's like, "Do you want to hold it?" And she had never held one before, so I was like, "Yeah, yeah." Put it in her hands, dude. She about passed out. She just like got white as a ghost, and just she was like, I almost like blacked out right then and there. I was like, "Here, give it back," And now it's just funny how she's the one that just picks them up, does whatever she has to do.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
You're gonna have to change. No, I'm just playing. Don't
I
change
know,
the
change the name.
name.
I know. Yeah,
That's
no, but I just had to
what's
throw that in, man, just because
that's what it's about, though. Like
Yeah,
I think we forget it. Like we get so focused on, okay, I need to breed, or I need to do this, or I need to market, and sometimes it's good just to take it back, man. Like
yeah,
look at what really drove you to enjoy these animals. Look at where your passion really lies, and small things like that. Like I'm not old, but I'm getting getting older, and the pop up mentality is kind of popping in my head
yeah,
more, I guess. And I find myself looking back on moments that have really affected my life or my kids' lives up to this moment. And that's
hmm
I don't know, man. I don't even know how I want to put it into words. Like it's inspiring to say the
yeah,
least, because there's a lot of reasons where I should have turned into something else, and the fact that I have what I have, or even watching the friends that I've made throughout this industry and
yeah,
throughout my life that have really stuck around is just like, what did
yeah,
I do? Like what did
yeah,
I do to deserve this? And it's
yeah,
awesome to watch it unfold throughout the years.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, same here. Like I know when I was in school, I had a lot of friends, but then I got into college and stuff. And at one point, like I had literally zero life. I had nothing but just studying. And, people go on with their lives. And once I graduated and stuff, it's not the same anymore, those friendships.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they're doing well, and they're all doing well from what I see. But, then I, got into the snakes, and that just created a whole nother group of just great people. I look so forward to shows to go out and see how everyone's been doing. And, even still before the shows, you keep in touch with people, just ask how they're doing. They'll give you a call. Just it's just nice to catch up with people. Just know you always have someone there. I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I love about this industry, man.
yeah.
If you could pinpoint, what's been your favorite moment so far?
Mm, My favorite moment. That's a tough
And
one, man.
it doesn't have to
You
be
know?
one, man. Like
Yeah.
you could definitely go into a few, but like what really stands out to you with your time in the industry so far?
Of course, I think of just Bob just kind of inviting me to go out to these shows. To me, it's kind of like an honor, to be honest. To be able to go out and hang out with him. Because I've never produced anything. I mean, I've produced one clutch, but the fact that he tells me and Chris and Josh and Kendall and all them just kind of take me in as well. And I know another big moment that I thought was pretty cool was whenever I'd go out with Alyssa, and then like I said, they're very cool with Tom Harmon, very very close, and just being at the after the shows you go out to eat, just being at the dinner table with Tom was just pretty cool in my opinion. Sit there and just listen to his stories and just see how their conversations go as far as just the industry and stuff was very very neat because Tom's such a family person. He's just class in my opinion. Just that's the guy I kind of look up to, want to be like someday. So
That's awesome, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think yeah,
He's good people. You get a warm feeling every time you're around him.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that might sound a little weird for some
No,
people, but it's
no,
kind of
but
like,
no, I
yeah, it's
understand.
that father figure, or
Yeah,
like you get that look into someone that's just, you could tell that they're pure about everything that comes out. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Versus
and,
trying to second guess it.
yeah. And same goes for like Alyssa and Craig.
Yeah.
They're just good people. I know if I ever needed something,
Oh,
you know,
I called on him the other day, man. I was
yeah,
freaking out about one of my friends out that way, and
yeah,
I hit them up. I was like, "You're the closest person I know."
yeah. No, man, don't do. She
Good.
she goes. She does a lot. She'll do a lot of stuff that won't benefit her. Just to do something good for you. Then it speaks a lot, in my opinion.
What's the craziest thing you've dealt with so far? Because I know like you guys can get a little rambunctious, to say the least, at shows.
At
It's all in a
shows,
good time, but
yeah,
well, it doesn't even have to be a show. But like, what's the craziest thing you've had to deal with so far?
um, I know there was one time, I went out with, I actually went out to Pomona, and there was this vendor. I think Josh had given this snake to an auction, and long story short, that snake was healthy, perfectly healthy, and at the auction, I guess that person bought that snake and somehow cooked the snake. Then the next day, the guy comes back and is super mad at Josh and confronts him. And if you know Josh, he's not a confrontational person. Super nice guy, very very nice. But the way the guy came and delivered his message, was a bit much. And just I guess seeing that, made me realize like this is the other side of, you know, trying to please a customer. And it was a tough decision the way it did. I don't know what they ever agreed on or whatever, but the guy, he was a pretty big dude, and he was pissed, which I don't know what he did because the snake was healthy, but Josh, some
He put it out in his car and left it there.
most likely, but I know Josh will always make it right, and I'm pretty sure he did, but. I just like I said, seeing that, I thought it was about to be a fight. We all kind of circled around just to make sure, the guy doesn't jump over the table right now. That was
Right.
pretty crazy. I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So taking that, man, you've had a lot of great experiences. Um, how important do you think it is to portray not only what you're doing, but kind of like your love for the hobby and your experiences within the hobby?
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know if that made sense.
Yeah.
Like how important, this is kind of going into like having a social media focus or
Mhm.
things like that. Like, so you can go through all these experiences, right? But how important do you think it is to actually show those and like show that this isn't just, hey, I'm here for money. This is, and if you are, you are. Like
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on anyone that is like that, right? But what I'm saying is like you need to bring that excitement to it. Like if we're going to grow as an industry, if we're going to do that, I feel like everyone should have a fairly strong social media presence. And I suck at it at times. I'm not going to lie. Like there's days where
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't even want to pick my phone up.
I that's something
But
I'm definitely lacking in as well. Just social media type stuff. I don't know why, but I don't I don't really like to show everything. There's something about just
no, I
kind of staying
understand.
low key, that I like. I know there's a lot of people that do that as well, and I don't know. There's just something cool about that that I I say
No, I respect that too,
yeah
man. Like I think it's hard because I don't know, man. That's considered, I don't want to say a fad, but that's considered the
yeah
way to really push at this moment. And that's
yeah
what we're like, all of us that not even like, I wouldn't say I'm an influencer or even a creator at this point. Like I'm trying to show me, but that's what we try to push, right? Is everyone put out as much content as you can.
yeah.
That's the way it
There's
should be, right? But
there's nothing wrong with that because
there's
you're building your following at the same time.
but there's respect in the way you're doing it too. Like I know a lot of people that have
Oh yeah.
really big brands that they don't do anything. Like
Hmm.
they just put out, hey, this is what my availability is or something like that, and that's what it
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah.
there's
There's
respect in both of them.
yeah. I know. I don't know if you've heard of Insane Clown Pythons,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Sanders. Yeah, like he's a guy that's become a very very good friend of mine as well. He's doesn't put out a lot, but he's got some stuff coming for sure. Yeah, he's got
Oh yeah,
some nice stuff coming. So I just find that neat. Just staying kind of low key. The rest will come. I feel like
for sure.
yeah.
What do you see as your aspirations for it right now? And I kind of asked this, but not as far as like size or anything like that, but what do you see in your aspirations for just being a reptile person or like being a breeder? Because I think one of the most important things for us is finding a goal and setting that goal. And then like doing your affirmations daily, things like that to make sure that you're moving towards that goal. So while it may be somewhat difficult to put out, this is my way of kind of helping push you a certain way. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. So kind of like what my aspirations are. Um,
Yeah.
um, I just keep learning. Honestly, being able to, because like I said, I have an ultrasound, for example, when it comes to breeding time. But part of me kind of feels like I wanted to learn the signs and the ovulations, being able to tell. Even palpating would be very cool. But I know
Dude,
that's a pretty hard
it's
skill
hard,
to,
bro. It's
yeah,
hard.
that's a pretty hard skill to learn.
Like,
But
it
just starting from the basics, kind of in a way, But when I started, I know I did a good bit of research as far as what racks and what temps and so forth. So I started out. I can't say I bought anything big. I bought everything from a baby, and I started feeding them and kind of seeing what they like and so forth. And once I got a feel for it, and I realized like this isn't so bad, I did end up buying a bigger female that I could probably start breeding a little quicker. Um, I don't usually really go for bigger females, but once like I said, I feel like I could have jumped that curve or that 1 year mark from to go ahead and start breeding. I ended up buying that, and that really, I don't know. I'm trying to think of kind of where I'm getting at,
no, you good, bro.
um, but just I don't know, man. Just trying to keep learning and um, shit. My mind just went blank. Sorry.
You're good, bro.
Yeah,
So
but
here's one of the things I'll say on it, because you brought up wanting to learn to palpate.
yeah,
Take the skills that you've learned as a nurse, and you know how you're feeling for the
yeah,
sponginess of a vein, right?
yeah,
it's not the same feel, but you kind of want to use that same technique,
Like a
if that
sensation,
makes
I
sense.
guess. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. So like
yeah,
you have that paper towel or whatever you're choosing to do. Like snakes won't run through my hands when I don't have something between my hands and them. And even now, like even with all my years of palpating for veins to start IVs and things like that, the follicles have to be really freaking big for me to feel them. I can't even tell you what size they are. They're probably close to like probably 15, 20 millimeters at that point, just because
yeah,
I don't have full feeling in my fingertips. But um, it's an experience, man. Like I love it because you can sit there and you can kind of try to count and like I like to play a game where you feel the follicles and you're like, okay, I think there's this many, so I write that out, and then you see what she actually lays and you
yeah,
see how close you were or not. Like I
yeah,
don't know, it's a fun game for me.
yeah.
Maybe not for
I've
everyone
I've
else.
I've seen people do it, and they try to teach me and stuff. It's just repetition at the end of the
For
day.
sure.
So
It's not a skill that, and I mean I'm still not great at it, man. So I'm not I'm not like the guy to teach you, but
hmm
I enjoy it. Like
yeah,
I feel like it teaches me to read the animal a little bit better,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of like I just keep aspiring to try to learn and just develop those skills to not only that, but just different type of things, feeding and so forth.
What do you
So
think's been the most difficult for you to pick up to this point?
the ID
The ID?
and the popping the snakes as well. Yeah, I can do the babies, but once they're a little bigger, it does take me a little bit longer to try to as well. So yeah, definitely that and the IDing as well. So
Dude, after a certain point, I don't even try to pop. Like I take it to
yeah,
someone that has a probe kit and I'm like, hey, just verify this for me, man.
yeah,
I'm not even gonna try it. My luck, I'm gonna like hurt the
yeah.
hemipene or something like that if it is a male, and I just don't want
Same.
to take that chance.
Yeah, exactly. I get too nervous. I don't want to, like you said, hurt them, just damage them
For
permanently.
sure, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So what? Let's kind of go to it. What's something that you would tell other new people to focus on? Like if you had one tip to give someone else that was just looking to get in at this point, what would you want to give them as advice or like kind of guide them to?
Um, I I would tell them, of course, if I could just like I would tell them to get into recessives and work with what they love and all that. But honestly, man, everything I've learned, um, like if I didn't have any mentors or anyone, I would just say listen to podcasts. Listen to podcasts. There's tons of information that's out there. Like one that I really enjoyed was you and Will Morose
Yeah.
that you did one with Will. That was a very good podcast. They gave good tips and it covers everything, kind of like what you're saying, like new breeders and um, just tips for them to be able to keep going forward and stuff, and what projects and so forth. And I think that like MJ does some as well. I just obsessed with them for a little while because I was always commuting back and forth to work, so I had an hour and a half to listen to podcasts every single day, and it just sticks, just listening to it all the time, and you just pick up on it after a while. So I think that'd be a good tip in my opinion, just to keep doing research, keep going from there.
It's a never-ending cycle, bro. Like
Yeah,
as much as people want to say that they know what they're doing or things like that, you're always going to find something different. Like Earl said it recently. He's still learning from people that are just coming in because there's stuff even with the multitude of years that he's been in that he's never seen before, but he's heard of. So he
yeah,
asks, or then something pops up, and then he's experiencing it. So he reaches out, and
yeah.
he's been in over 10 years, man.
Yeah, like I know, like my snake, for example, my male. I've only bred him to one female. He was about 760 grams, and sure enough, he started losing weight, and he went like on this 3 month fast. And he was a pretty expensive snake for me, so I was kind of freaking out because I have females coming up right now that are gonna be ready for him. They're about like 12, 14 millimeter follicles. So I don't want to breed him either if he's not eating. So I asked around as well, like, what would you do in my opinion? Some people said still breed him. Some people said, shove a mouse down its throat. Some people said, just stop it, whatever. And so
I'm
just
gonna
get
be with those people. I'm just saying.
yeah. Oh yeah, and like I said, like my projects are revolved around this male. So luckily, he just ate last week, and I just fed him just a little while ago, and he ate again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he keeps going.
we get
But
them back.
yeah, but because like I said, that would just mess up my season. Because my problem is I didn't buy any backup mail. So that's
That's
another
important, man.
that is
Like
important. Yeah,
that's something that my mentors told me. And I was
yeah,
like, I haven't brought myself to do it yet on a
uh,
lot of things.
yeah,
I'm like, well, if I don't hit this, I can hit this. So
yeah.
technically it's not a backup male with like the same type of genetics. It's
Hmm.
okay, well, this is what I would first want to put together. But if that doesn't work, then I guess I'll go with
Exactly.
this.
Yeah, I don't have it. And he could still just not want to breed anymore. At the
Right.
end of the day, luckily he's eating, and he's a small male, but he locked to one female, and he's done right now. But um, we'll see how it goes. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well, brother, I appreciate your time. I really like your energy. Really looking forward to what you're pushing. With that being said, before we head out, let's talk about what your major project is, or like what you really want to accomplish with this year specifically.
um, definitely the DG clown route. I'll have 3 shots at making some more. I have one male, but I do want to, of course, keep some more back later on. So I'll have 3 chances at those, and that's kind of the one project I am looking forward to the most right now,
Oh yeah,
for sure.
that's nothing wrong with that. That's a
Yeah,
beautiful animal.
thank you. Man. I like it by itself, honestly. More combos are about to start coming out. There's still so much untapped stuff to do with it, but I just like the simplicity of it already, just by itself.
For sure, bro.
So
For sure.
definitely excited for that.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I really wish you all the luck. I hope all 10 of
Yeah.
those girls freaking go for you this year, man.
Yeah.
I hope your males like pack on the pounds while they're continuing to breed. And I'm really excited to see what you do in the future.
Yeah.
I think you have a great group around you. There's no reason why you shouldn't succeed. And I'm really excited to
Yeah.
see what you're gonna do, man. And I hope you are too. Like I know it's kind of you we're falling into a little monotone, but I don't know how to express it at this point, man. Like I've seen your passion firsthand in person, so I'm excited for what you're gonna do.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And, like I said, I appreciate you bringing me on and
For sure, brother.
being able to market myself on your platform. And, I said, I'm sorry if I was a little nervous. Like I said, I like Dwight from The Office when he has to give that speech in front of all
Bro,
those people.
if you're not nervous
Yeah.
talking in front of people, I applaud you.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, like you see me at shows and it might look like I'm okay there, but
Hmm.
I'm not. Like
Yeah.
I have to change my shirts. I start looking around and like, does someone? Oh no, that's like stress sweats and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like it's hard, man. Like it's not easy.
Yeah.
This is easy for me,
Yeah.
but when I actually have crowds around me or like
Yeah.
people, I'm not that cool kid yet. Not everyone wants my picture, but like some people pop up and be like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And I'm like, "Why do you want a picture?"
Yeah. You're famous, man.
Nah, I'm not famous. I'm not nothing, but
Nah,
I'm getting there. Like I'm
yeah.
working my way up, and I'm proud of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Why don't you shout out? Sorry, kiddo's getting upset.
Oh, you're fine.
Why don't you shout out your socials and how we can find you and your morph market and stuff like that? And we'll let you
Yeah.
get on out of here.
Um, Paco Miranda pythons. I have a YouTube, Morph Market, and Instagram. So I haven't posted anything on YouTube, but I started it and never followed up with it. But I'll probably have to make an updated video. Just a lot of things have grown and changed. I think it's been like a year and a half, so probably make an updated video. But it's just for fun, nothing serious. But
It's
yeah,
all part of showing the journey, though, man. That's what
yeah,
people want to see. Like, I think about it all the time, and I kind of kick myself in the ass. Like, I enjoy these. I love the interviews, man, because I learn from every single interview, or like it makes me think about things I wasn't thinking about. And it's funny you brought up that will, because I just rewatched it and I was like, oh, I forgot all about this. So
yeah,
I love it because it's kind of a catalog, man. Like I can go back when I'm kind of in a rut and I can look at stuff that I've talked about.
yeah,
But I realized that I haven't really shown my collection in a long time or things like that, because I just don't like the vlog
yeah,
style. I'm not super comfortable with it, but
yeah,
it's an aspect that I need to understand, or like it helps me become a better storyteller, I guess, is like forcing it into that style. So I think it'd be better and it'd make these even better, because then I'll be telling a story versus just, oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? It gets kind of repetitive, and that's
yeah,
one thing I don't want to fall into.
yeah.
But hell yeah, man. I appreciate you. I know it's kind of late over there, so I'm gonna
It's
let you
okay, man.
get your
I can,
rest, get these kids to bed.
yeah.
Y'all go give Paco some love. I'm gonna have all his stuff down in the description below here in just a couple seconds when we get off, and make sure you let them know that Feely's Clutch sent you. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next one. We're gonna have Rob from Creeping It Real next week. I'm pretty excited about that one.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, brother. I
All right.
appreciate you.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a great
Take
night,
care.
y'all.